just can't trust those playmate types. And Linda here, of course, was once again duped by other people into doing their dirty work for them. Welcome back to Linda Blair Month on Drive-In Theater, and welcome back, Linda. Do you ever feel like you've had a whole career of being a victim?
Sometimes.
What are some of the things that have been done to you in the movies?
Well, I think with The Exorcist, that was pretty amazing, everything that was done to me, you know, between the makeup and the special effects and, of course, all the rides that I went on with the equipment that they used.
It seems like you're always getting tied up, right? Or gagged or bound or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now somebody told me that you've made so many movies, I don't know exactly how many, but that you don't really remember all the names of the movies that you've made. Is that right?
What happens, the story is that they change the titles. And so they'll tell me, they'll say, oh, you know, such and such a movie. And I don't think I was in that one. And they'll say, da-da-da, and they'll tell me the story. And then, oh, well, that was called such and such. So that's what happened.
But you remember?
I do remember.
Okay, well, how many movies a year do you make?
It depends. There was a time a few years ago when I made, I had a week in between. I worked for 5 years straight. And then after Repossessed, I took some time off. And it depends. I'm a workaholic.
But in those years when you had a week in between, how many movies a year was that?
So let's say like 5.
5 movies a year,
but sometimes you're like a film I did with Ernest Borgnine in Miami. You're there, and you're not necessarily in every scene. See, a lot of the films I used to do, I was every day. And I was in every scene. With now sometimes I'll just go in and play bit parts. Therefore, I'm trying to get more adult roles, or there's a reason I want to do comedy or something. I have a reason for all my madness.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, at your age to have 35 or so movies is, you know, you're the hardest working woman in show business, in my opinion. But I wanted to, you know, frankly, I have to admit, I haven't seen every single one of your performances. I'm sorry, I've missed a few of them.
Okay.
So I'm going to run some titles by you.
Okay.
Okay, and you tell us what the movie's about, all right?
Uh-oh.
All right. Here's one, 1984, Ruckus.
Okay, that was with Dirk Benedict, Ben Johnson, Richard Farnsworth. It was directed by Max Clevin, and it was an action-adventure, and it was bought as a tax write-off, and they put it on the shelf, and when it came out, it became everyone's favorite movie. They're like, where's this movie been? And it was a tax write-off.
So that's a good one to check out at the video store. And what do you do?
It's hard to find. I'm a gal in it. No, I'm not. It's the only one that I'm not. A victim. No, I've done a couple. Dirk Benedict is he's back from Vietnam, and he sort of trusts me as a friend. We're friends in it.
Okay. 1985, Savage Island.
Oh, God.
Oh, I got you on this one, huh?
Oh, that's a bad story. Do you want the truth?
Yeah, of course we want the truth. Hey, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you can tell.
Oh, I was called to do this. They said they had these 2 Italian movies that they had put together and that they needed an intro and an ending, and they offered me a character that I had never done before. It's like Joan Collins and Clint Eastwood put together, and I thought, that's cool.
So you were the glue to put 2 bad Italian movies together.
It was awful. And I got a fan letter from a little girl that I'll never forget. Said, how dare you make that kind of movie? I'm not in the movie, but it just means that we need to know more about the vehicles that we're doing. I just looked at it as footage to get another role.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the way to do that. So
you would never do it for the money.
It's my business.
Okay, well, good. They're my kind of gal. Okay. 1987, Undershorts the movie.
Yes, that's never been released. Brian Stoller did it. He's Canadian. It is one of the funniest things. I co-produced part of it. I think he's wonderful. I think he could be the next Spielberg. And
so we should watch that. That's a funny movie.
You can't get it. It's not been released. It's sitting at Paramount or something. They won't let it out. And it's great. I played the part I did. We did a 20-minute spoof of The Exorcist. I played my mom. I played a little girl. We have like Bozo the Clown. It is really stupid. It's very clever. It's like Saturday Night Live, all his little bits of comedy. It's great.
Okay, well, hope we see it. 1988, Grotesque.
It's a movie that we did up in Big Bear in California. and Tab Hunter's in it, and it was supposed to, the moral of the story was supposed to be that he plays somebody that's disfigured, and I have a brother that's disfigured that we keep put away in a closet. And these bad guys, like the Manson-type guys, come in there and they kill the whole family and they chase me around the mountain. And at the end of the movie, Tab Hunter catches these bad guys and says that there are ugly people in the world, but really the ugliest of all are people like yourselves. In other words, he's thought of as grotesque.
Like me?
But no, you're very handsome.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant me. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
never.
People like yourself.
No, that the ugly people are not necessarily that they're disformed. Just because you're disformed or something's wrong does not make you ugly. It's the bad people that are ugly.
Okay.
They're the ugly ones.
All right, one more. 1989, Bad Blood.
That was a Chuck Vincent film, and it was originally called Son. I play a girlfriend or a wife of the guy in the film, and it's totally strange, weird, bizarre. I liked it.
Like all your best roles. Okay. And we don't even have time to talk about Roller Boogie tonight.
I like Roller Boogie.
All right, well, we do too. That's what I mean. So can you come back next time? We're just getting started here. Are you starting to feel a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah.
All right. Well, right now we're going to watch the classic Evil Dead, which I consider one of the greatest horror films ever made. Do you agree about that? Evil Dead?
I don't watch them. They scare me.
Well, we had the world cable premiere of this movie on drive-in theater about 4 months ago, and for many years this flick was deemed too grisly for cable. Nobody would show it. We're still the only cable network to show it uncut. And it's the first film of Sam Raimi, who would go on to great fame when he made Darkman. You've probably seen that. And you didn't see Darkman either? You'll go to any scary movie. And it's your basic teenagers go into the woods and they don't come out. Have you ever made any of those teenagers go in the woods movies?
You never? I don't think so.
Okay. Well, the difference in this one is that there's only one way to kill those zombies. Total dismemberment. Arms, legs, head, everything. This movie is in the Drive-In Hall of Fame. It's unrated. We call it Spam in a Cabin, 1983. After it's over, I'll be back one more time. You ever been actually carved up in a movie?
No.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that we missed seeing that.
Before Evil Dead, we will fulfill our promise to air last week's interview with Linda Blair. Never seen before because we lost the tape and got into really deep water with Mr. Briggs. Deep, hot water. In about 8 minutes, the classic Evil Dead.
Where the girl is raped by the woods. Wow. That and the scene where the pencil gets driven through the ankle. Yuck, wow. One of the scariest flicks of the 1980s, and remember, we had to fight hard to get that for you on the movie channel, so let us know if you liked it. Maybe we can get some more hardcore horror on the network. All right, Linda Blair month continues next week. Linda had to turn in tonight, but she'll be back next week to host Repossessed, Linda Blair and Leslie Nielsen in last year's comedy spoof of exorcism movies. Leslie Nielsen is the exorcist in that movie. And Linda will be here to explain exactly how she did the green vomit thing, so tune in for that. We've got time for one quick letter to the old drive-in mailbag. This came in from Andy Rouse of Calhoun City, Mississippi. Hey, Joe Bob, I just finished watching Separate Vacations, and I noticed something that I have noticed before while watching drive-in theater, namely that your breast count was erroneous. Before the movie started, you said the movie had a breast count of 9. Well, I watched the movie very carefully and only counted 6 breasts. 2 on Jennifer Dale, 2 on the blonde bimbo that David Naughton always puked with, and 2 on the Mexican hooker. To put it bluntly, Joe Bob, I think you are deliberately and fraudulently overstating the breast counts of your movies by counting each exposure of the same breast rather than legally and properly counting only each unique breast that is bared. Thank you for your prompt attention in this matter. Okay, Andy. These are some very serious charges you're making here. I hope you're not implying that I would deliberately falsify a breast count. Now, I'm sorry it took so long to get back to you on this, but I had to watch Separate Vacations 3 more times in super slow motion to verify that the official drive-in theater breast count is correct, and then we had our panel of Movie Channel breast exposure experts review my own count for backup, and the official count remains, Andy, 9 full exposures. Admittedly, these 9 exposures are on only 3 women, and those women have no signs of freakish anatomies that would, in other words, none of them sprouted an extra breast or anything. However, the exposures were in separate scenes in separate parts of the movie and revealed new properties of the breast each time it was bared. We don't count breasts that just lay there like limp fish. Those breasts have to jump up and do tricks, but we will consider a double count on the same breast when the situation warrants. We stand by our count. 9 breasts, separate vacations. I'm sorry, Andy, but you are wrong. You know, I hate to do that to a fan, but you can't be dishonest on stuff like this. All right, if you want to say anything to us, request some movies, maybe get free junk in the mail or a copy of my world-famous newsletter, send those letters in to the Movie Channel mailbox, P.O. Box 1264, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101, and I'll get back to you. That's it for me tonight. You know how I always tell you guys a bad joke at the end of the show? Well, this one tonight was sent in by a viewer, Carl Luschel of Bowerston, Ohio. How do you make a hormone? Don't pay her. Joe Bob Briggs, the drive-in will never die. It wasn't my joke, I was just passing it along.